Dan's anger flared in his chest.
Hey, tell me, how'd a loser like him get a girl as fine as you probably were?
Despite this humiliation, Dan finally swallowed his pride. He returned home and washed himself with cold water, as if trying to wash away his shame. However, lying in bed, the day's scene kept replaying in his mind. The next day, Jessie took out her frustration on a punching bag, accidentally punching her coach in the face.
Oh my God!
But they laughed it off and became friends. Jessie complained about her husband, saying that Dan was a devoted family man, yet she felt unsatisfied, except on Thursday nights. Life with him was too boring.
I mean, when we met, I wanted to travel, I wanted to see the world.
But what she didn't know was that before their marriage, her husband had been a hitman for the past 18 years. He was focused on being a good father and husband, but his patience didn't bring him the quiet life he'd hoped for. The next morning, Dan took the child to the supermarket to shop. As soon as he opened the refrigerator door, a stranger started walking towards him. Dan sensed danger. His instincts kicked in.
Really? Hey, asshole, at least let me put my kid down.
The killer didn't listen and launched another attack. Dan had no choice but to protect his child with one hand and block the blows with the other. However, the killer couldn't overpower him. This display completely stunned the neighbors. Dan had always been a polite, gentle man in their eyes. They never expected him to have this powerful side. After eliminating the killer, Dan picked up the diaper and swaggered out of the store, under the astonished gaze of the cashier. He then sped home in his car. His neighbor, frozen with shock, stood motionless. He set his son aside, grabbed a kitchen knife, and headed to the stairs. He scraped the paint off the wall, revealing a yellow button. Dan pulled out a bag full of weapons and a passport, but the passport was expired. Dan had to pull out 2 stacks of cash from the lower compartment. He then called his old friend Carl, telling him that his former boss had discovered his location. Dan asked Carl to help arrange new identities and accommodation for him, his wife, and their 3 children. Afterward, Dan told Jessie he was taking her and the children on a vacation to Las Vegas.
Woo!
Oh,
yeah.
Jessie was surprised, but Dan assured her he'd been planning the trip for a long time. As he spoke, Dan noticed an SUV parked outside. He urged Jessie to leave immediately, or they'd get stuck in traffic. The family set off on their first road trip, but as soon as he reached the entrance of the parking lot, he spotted the black car again, and those inside were staring at him threateningly. At that moment, a bus passed by. When it passed, Dan and his family had vanished. Dan drove the car to a repair shop. He found an excuse to lift it, discovering a tracking device installed on the car's chassis. Thinking fast, he secretly attached the tracker to a coworker's car. His coworker stomped on the gas and sped off, prompting the assassins to chase him.
What are you doing?
I'm posting about our trip.
His wife planned to share the scenic views on TikTok.
Do we really need to be posting and tweeting and TikTok? It's all about interaction.
Please, I can't do the dad lecture right now. You literally don't even know how to text.
Give it up, now.
The 2 children reluctantly handed over their phones. To their surprise, Dan immediately got rid of the phones.
Oh my God,
What?
Dad!
They just freed our family from the shackles of technology.
At night, while the whole family was fast asleep, Dan remained wide awake, focused on driving. But suddenly, he noticed someone on the bridge ahead. Dan instantly realized his cover was blown, and attackers on motorcycles quickly sped up behind him. Dan glanced at his wife and children, quietly turned on the car's sound system, plugged in headphones for everyone, and turned the volume up to max. He then pulled a gun from his waist, attached a silencer as the killer closed in. He fired, hitting one of them. Another killer approached and was about to shoot, but Dan pulled him off the motorcycle without hesitation. In the struggle, Dan's gun fell to the floor. He felt for it but couldn't find it. The child handed him a grenade. He used the killer's motorcycle to make him lose control. After eliminating all the attackers, Dan's wife woke up. It was late, and because it was Thursday, Dan decided to find a small hotel for the night. He couldn't give up the habit he'd had for 18 years. Finally, they arrived in Las Vegas. Dan's wife was overjoyed when she saw the luxurious presidential suite he'd booked. She couldn't believe her eyes. She wore a stunning red dress for a candlelight dinner with Dan. Dan decided to confess his true identity.
Voulez-vous de poivre?
Je ne veux pas de poivre.
Je veux être seul avec mes femmes.
Jessie was surprised by Dan's ability to speak French. She felt the familiar man in front of her was irresistibly charming,
Crazy sexy.
and she couldn't wait to spend the night with him. So they skipped dinner and went straight back to the hotel. While Jessie was waiting for Dan in bed, gunshots suddenly rang out, and she was kidnapped. When Dan saw his wife held hostage, he had no choice but to immediately place his gun on the ground.
Just let her go.
The killer also threatened him.
I can explain.
Jessie was still in shock, and when she looked at the man lying on the ground, she immediately threw up. Dan realized the danger wasn't over. He hurriedly explained as he rushed to find the children. When the children saw their parents so tense, they were confused.
We have to leave because my former coworkers are trying to kill us.
The children burst out laughing because their father, in their eyes, was known for his shy gentleness. But when Dan saw the look in their eyes, he quickly drove them to escape. Once they were safe, Dan confessed everything to his family, but they couldn't forgive him. Jessie felt betrayed and decided to leave him for good, taking the children to the airport, where she suddenly met the boxing coach. Gwen recounted her story. She had dated a man for many years, but he suddenly disappeared one day. When she saw him again, he was married to a completely different woman. So Gwen got close to that woman and gained her trust. Jessie froze, realizing the woman Gwen was talking about was herself. She tried to make an excuse to leave, but she was immediately stopped. The old man warned Dan to come alone, or he would kill his wife and children. Dan arrived quickly, but his hands were tied. Jessie and the children were taken to the rooftop. This became a duel between the two women.
Oh, no.
As a boxing coach, Gwen easily knocked Jessie down with one punch. Jessie picked up a bamboo stick from the ground.
Not quite the decathlete we once were, huh?
While Gwen mocked and ridiculed her, Jessie picked up the pole again.
There's 9 other events, bitch.
Meanwhile, the assassin organization was completely eliminated. Dan and his family hit the road again, continuing their unfinished journey.
Say goodbye to these.
That's not funny.